Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to this video. On this video, I'm planning to share with you three main concepts that you should know if you want to become a Oracle Cloud Infrastructure expert. Are you ready? Alright, so before we get started, I would like to ask you, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. Please subscribe yourself and enable the notification so that YouTube can notify you whenever I release new contents. Alright? Okay, so let's go now and jump into the content. And the first thing that I would like to cover today is what a region is, right? First thing that you should know about OCI is absolutely what a region is. Because when you're creating your account for the first time on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, the account creation process is going to ask you, hey, what's going to be your home region, right? If you don't know what a region is, how you're going to decide what's going to be your home region. And a home region or a region itself is a localized geographic area. Is where Oracle Cloud Infrastructure decided to create their data centers, right? And a region is composed by one or more availability domains. And availability domain is another concept that we're going to cover in a minute, but let's stick with region right now. And region is just one city in one country in the world that Oracle Cloud Infrastructure decided to create their data centers, right? And we have regions spread around the world. There are regions in the United States, Latin America, European countries, and many others, right? So you might be wondering now, okay, in which region should I put my workloads, right? In which region should I decide to be my home region, the region that I'm going to create most of my workloads? And then the answer is pretty simple. I will try to make it simple actually. The region that you should pick for your workload should be the region which is closest to your users. So let me give you one example, right? Let's say that the company that you are working for has a data center based in Phoenix, for example, right? All your systems are now deployed in this Phoenix data center, right? And you decided to migrate those workloads to the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, right? And then you're now wondering, okay, which region should I decide, right? Which region should I pick for my workloads? And probably it will make sense for you to pick the region which is based in Phoenix so that you can still keep your workloads close to your users, right? If your users are based in Phoenix, for example, maybe your company headquarters is based in Phoenix. Who knows? But the bottom line is you should put your workloads closest to your users as much as possible, right? And this way you minimize non-networking issues such as latency and few other things, right? So that's the first concept that you should learn more about, a region, right? And as I mentioned, a region is composed by one or more availability domains, right? And what is a availability domain? A availability domain is actually pretty simple to understand. We can imagine a availability domain as it was a data center. It is a data center inside of a region. And the cool thing about the availability domain, or AD for short, is that AD is fully isolated in terms of power, in terms of cooling, and in terms of internal networking, right? The networking that serves that particular domain. And that allows you to basically build applications highly available, and you can of course spread your workloads across different availability domains or ADs so that you can create more HA for your applications, right? And because of the availability domains are interconnected with high speed, high throughput network between them, you can still have replication across availability domains. You can establish disaster recovery maybe between different availability domains and many other things. So that's the number two, that's the concept number two that I would like to share with you, which is the availability domain. The third concept that I would like to share with you is what a fault domain is. And the fault domain is, I will get the concept from the documentation for you to understand better. A fault domain is a group of hardware and infrastructure within a availability domain. Each availability domain contains three fault domains. Fault domains provide anti-affinity anti-affinity. They let you to distribute your instances so that the instances are not on the same physical hardware within a single availability domain. So if you think about the fault domain, what a fault domain is basically a group of hardware inside of the same availability domain so that you can have an additional level of grouping inside of the same AG, right? If you think more about that, as I mentioned, a region is composed by up to 3 availability domains, right? And then you can create your workloads, your instances, your virtual machines, your bare metal hosts inside of those availability domains, right? You can, put them in a way, if you want to design them for high availability, you can put them in a way that you can spread these instances or these workloads across different availability domains. But if you want to, make sure that inside of your availability domain, you also have isolation, right? Isolation in terms of power, isolation in terms of maintenance, then you can also decide to use the fault domain, which is another level of segmentation inside of your availability domain that you can define, that you can use to build applications using another level of high availability, right? So that's a very important concept for you to understand, mainly when you're architecting your application or you're creating your applications for high availability, right? Basically, those are the 3 main concepts that I would like to share with you today about OCI, about Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. If you like this video, please go ahead and leave your thumbs up. If you have any questions, please go ahead and leave your comments. Please share your experience around OCI if you are planning to become a Oracle Cloud Infrastructure expert. If you have any questions for me, please leave the comment. I'm going through all of the companies. I'll make sure that your question is answered. Okay? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next video.